Welcome to another edition of Black Male Advice TV. I'm your host, Ringo. Make sure you click the like button, subscribe, and support the content. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Black Male Advice TV. I'm your host, Ringo. What I would like to talk about today is understanding fair use, understanding copyrights, so that the end user can know their rights when making content on YouTube. Because a lot of times I see people, they're abusing the YouTube system. They're making people feel intimidated. They're bullying people to, I guess, put fear in them to prevent them from using their content for whatever reason. I want people to be educated by this video because a lot of times people think that when they make content on YouTube, that if someone is using their content, that somehow they have violated some law and therefore they're infringing on someone's copyright. We're going to talk about a lot of different things, and I want to make sure that everyone fully understand what's going on concerning this particular issue. I want to play some footage. We're going to play some footage, and we're going to listen to what this particular brother had to say to, I guess, set the stage for what I'm going to be sharing, so that everyone who is on YouTube and pretty much any other site, you could pretty much understand how to move in these YouTube streets when it comes to content, so that you understand your rights, you understand the do's and the don'ts, so that you can be on the safe side. This video also serves as a warning to content creators that misuse the system on YouTube and feel they can somehow abuse others with the system. I'm here to tell you that you're going to have a very bad day once people pretty much learn what I'm going to share. Now, without further ado, let me present my fair use logo on the screen. I'm not going to play the audio. I'm going to read it this time. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, video tapes, or video disc under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. Now, the purpose for doing that is to make it very clear that I know my rights, so that anyone who clip I may use or visual audio, they know automatically that you're dealing with someone who know their rights. Do you understand me? And what it also does, it serves as a record for YouTube, so that when they review the content, they can clearly see that I know my rights, I know the boundaries, I know my limitations, and what I can and can't do. It is also useful for court to document the fact that before I even began to display any sort of content or clips from someone else, that I clearly made it known of the fair use doctrine and my rights. So what that does in the court of law, it literally lets a judge and everyone know that the party who may have abused the system in terms of filing false claims of copyright, they will be found guilty clearly because there's a fair use warning or disclaimer letting people know that this video is used under fair use based on the facts of the matter. So anyone that violate that are liable for damages in the court of law. You understand? I want you to understand this because a lot of times people on YouTube, right, if they see you using their clip, sometimes what they'll do is they'll file a false DMCA claim against you in hopes to, I guess, silence you. In most cases, some people do this as a way to silence other people. Some also use this as a way to try to remove your channel or put fear in you to never touch their clips or whatever the case is. So they file a DMCA claim against you, and DMCA stands for Digital Millennium Copyright Act. Through YouTube, a lot of content creators tend to abuse that. And I'm here to give all of you who do such a thing a warning. If it's found that you abuse the DMCA claim and YouTube learn that your account is being used to bully, abuse, to try to silence someone with false claims, your channel can be removed. I used to have this done to preachers all the time back in the day. I would use their clips, share my commentary and criticism. These preachers would always try to flag my videos for copyright. And every single time they did, the video would get restored because, I know my rights. I understand all the different YouTube forms to fill out. I understand the ups and downs, the wait period, and I know my rights. So a couple of ministries, they did this multiple times where they would flag my video for copyright, this and that. And I would go through the process, video would be restored, and then they would flag the same video again. And when they did this again, their channel got terminated. And it was very amusing and funny to me because I was like, it's like they don't understand that you can't abuse the system. Like, you just can't keep filing false claims and expect to somehow get results that way. So I want to share my thoughts and hopefully teach and educate people on how to use content under fair use, know your rights, and know that you don't need no one's permission. A lot of times on YouTube, we hear content creators telling people that you need permission. You need permission to use my video. You need to come to me and beg and get on your knees and shine my shoes in order for me to decide if I want you to use my clips. People, hear me out. You do not need anyone's permission to use someone's clips under fair use, right? We're going to get into fair use so that you can understand it, because a lot of you, sometimes you don't know and you do things that will still end up causing your channel a lot of problems because you don't recognize what fair use is about. We're going to explain all of these things. But first, what I want to do is I want to go into a clip from the Poor Man's podcast. I was watching his live show and he said something that needs to be addressed as soon as possible so that he can pretty much be at liberty to use the Fair Use Act accordingly when it comes to any content that he is willing to share. The Poor Man's podcast pretty much specialize in doing reaction videos. He do a lot of reaction videos to various content all over YouTube, and his channel has grown significantly fast. And I noticed that he was talking about Kevin Samuels, and I realized that he said that Kevin Samuels came to him and was like, you're using my clips without my permission. And he said something along the lines of, you made about 3 videos this week, which means Kevin Samuels was literally in the background watching this brother make videos, which is clearly what he do to me. He watch what I do. I know he watch what I do. So what I want to do is I want to roll this footage so you can listen to what the brother had to say And I'm going to correct the brother because he's wrong on many regards. And hopefully, if he sees this video, he will begin to go out there and practice using video content under fair use and not worry about Kevin Samuels, because Kevin Samuels can lose his channel. Kevin Samuels don't realize that. And matter of fact, I would believe he do. I believe that he would be smart enough to know that abusing something can cost him everything. It could cost him his whole channel. If someone is falsely flagging your video for copyright infringement, right, and they do this, if you follow the advice that I'm giving you in this video, that content creator can lose their channel. Do you understand me? So to the poor man's podcast, after today, you can pretty much use anything from Kevin Samuels and you don't need his permission. You don't. And if he come at you with any sort of intimidation, right, I can personally show you how to respond via to YouTube, and it can possibly get his channel terminated. Do you understand? Now, the goal is not really to get someone's channel terminated, but if someone is going to violate you in terms of trying to prevent you from doing your work, in terms of reaction videos and commentary and criticism, and they make you feel like you got to beg them for permission to use their videos, that's off. You don't need to do that, right? So let's take a look at this clip, and we're going to pretty much share our commentary and criticism regarding it. Let's go.
Also, Kevin Samuels, he does a lot behind the scenes, I guess. I haven't really been in communication with him, but I heard that he's very, very supportive of everybody in the Red Pill community in terms of if he believes in you. Obviously, he put on shows like Fresh and Fit. He was one of the original people that got on there that gave them part of their following. He came over here when I first started. Unfortunately, it was a little thing, not even really a back and forth. I don't really do that. So, he doesn't do that either. So, and that's why I like the impression that I got from him. But unfortunately, I did, and that was my fault. I'm not going to get into details with it, but it was something at the beginning of my content creation. I was new to the game.
Notice he said, and he was new to the game, and for whatever reason, there was a situation where I guess Kevin Samuels came around, and he said it wasn't a back and forth or anything like that. But now he's about to go in and explain exactly what went down. And I can recall when this happened, because I believe I saw when this brother was using some of Kevin Samuels' clips, and then I noticed that he just stopped using Kevin Samuels' clips. But anyway, let's continue.
And I didn't know much. With my ignorance, I offended him.
Actually, when you use someone's clips, they could be offended all they want, right? The point is, Kevin Samuels is selfish, and he didn't like the fact that you were using his content because it's helping your channel to grow. You see, I don't have no respect for Kevin Samuels because Kevin Samuels is a fraud. At the same time, a lot of people, they believe in him when I've been exposing Kevin Samuels for a long time. Just as Fresh and Fit is being exposed by everybody, I expose Fresh and Fit before everybody, right? And now everybody's talking about Fresh and Fit and all the things that he's doing. But I've been called him out for scamming people and exploiting women for sex and so forth. But in this regard, Kevin Samuels was coming to this brother's channel, or probably hitting him up via DM, allegedly, and somehow pressing him on why he's using his content, which is harassment, because you're not supposed to harass somebody because they're using content. And being that the brother probably didn't know his rights, he probably felt some type of way like he's doing something wrong when really he was doing nothing wrong. Let's continue.
And he was rightfully so offended. I was using this. Okay, I'll get into it. I was using this content without permission.
See, right there, we need to cut to the chase and get right down to the real deal here. You don't need permission to use anybody's clips. You don't. Now, the person may want you to come in and ask them for permission. That's not in the law. According to the law, you don't need to go to someone and ask them, could I please use your clip in my video to share my thoughts? You don't need to do that. No. If you understand fair use, you do not need to do that. Kevin Samuels know that. Trust and believe. Kevin Samuels know that you don't need permission. Now, he posts that all over his videos. Do not use my videos without permission, written this and that and all that. All of that stuff is garbage. None of that stuff holds up in court. It's actually deceptive practices because according to fair use, you don't need no one's permission. Do you understand? Let's move on.
I assumed he had 500,000 subscribers. Once, other people are using the content. What's little old me? I didn't know that everybody was asking for permission. I ain't even have 1,000 subscribers yet.
Now, everyone was not asking Kevin Samuels for permission. So when you see other people possibly using his clips, they were not asking him for permission. Kevin Samuels don't have time to answer all these different messages of people coming to him asking. Kevin Samuels is just selfish. Do you understand? He don't want nobody using his clips, and he depend on your ignorance of not knowing your rights. You understand? You don't need to go to Kevin and say, could I use your clip? No, you don't need that. Now, I'm going to get into different details on what you can and can't do. And being that you're in a position now where you've been on YouTube for a minute, you should understand fair use doctrine. But based on the video clip that I'm using here, you, in most cases, don't. Because if you did, you would recognize that Kevin was wrong. You had no fault in this issue. You did what you had to do, and you didn't break or violate any laws. So if he was offended that you use his clips, that's his problem. You understand me? He's just offended because you had the audacity to just use his clip, and he feel he's so on top of his high horse that you're not anyone to use his clip. But I'm pretty sure now that your channel has grown, right, you're going to get certain respect from certain content creators because that's how it is on YouTube. They tend to look at people based on subscriber count and start thinking, okay, this guy got such and such subscribers. He's getting a lot of views. His live shows have a lot of viewers. Okay, I really can't stay quiet. Kevin was coming at you because he knew that your channel was going to grow. You understand? Your subscriber count was going up every week fast, very fast. You know what I mean? So this is an indicator that Kevin was actually hating on you. He didn't want to see your progress. So that's why he was coming at you. But I want you to understand that you didn't do anything wrong. And if you're a listener, you must understand your rights when it comes to fair use, right? Let's move on.
Came on the video, said you're using my content without permission. This is the third video you did this week. I get it. He's right. He's right.
No, he's not right. He's not right. Him coming to you telling you that you used, this is the third video you did this week, that's Kevin's arrogance at this point. Because it goes to show that he's monitoring you. He should be focused on his content. He was too busy looking at your growth. And he saw that when you would make videos reacting to his content, that it was helping your channel to grow. He don't want that. And it's like that with all of these content creators. They don't want to see the next man grow. They don't like your growth. They don't like to see you move up in the YouTube's sphere. You understand? The sphere. They don't want to see you rise to the top. They want to be the top dog. And this is why Kevin, as of late, has been putting all of this nonsense in his videos of do not use this and do not use that and all of this nonsense. You know what I mean? And he's hoping that you're ignorant to follow whatever he say. You cannot stop millions upon millions of people from using your clips. It's just too many people on YouTube using Kevin Samuels clips. And the thing is, Kevin Samuels, based on what I've witnessed over the past few months, he's been threatening people with different posts. He's been telling his viewers to false flag people's accounts if they see videos, or to contact him so that he can flag people's channels and all sorts of stuff. And you would think that someone who have such a large following would be focused on their own personal business rather than worrying about who took a clip It just goes to show that Kevin Samuels is selfish and he decides to abuse smaller channels because he don't want you to grow. Through this video here, you're going to learn the truth. Let's go.
I'm using his content. I either need to chip him. I need to, like, if I'm consistently using his content, he's right. So
nah, he's not right, bro. You could use Kevin Samuels clips every single day. As long as you're following the fair use doctrine to the T, there is nothing Kevin Samuels can do. And if he violate your rights, he will lose his channel. Trust and believe I've seen this done. Actually, I sit back and wait just to make that happen. Because once he do that and he violate, he's going to lose his channel and he's never getting it back. Because YouTube don't like when people do this. Now, I'm going to continue with the clip and then I'm going to share all the information needed.
I completely respect that, but that is what it is. And it's just, shout out, man. Shout out to
I'm not going to waste time hearing him shout out Kevin Samuels because I don't agree with Kevin Samuels. And he don't deserve any shout outs because he's a scammer and he's a fraud. And I've already exposed him multiple times and people are acting like they don't see it. Just like I exposed Fresh and Fit and nobody didn't care. But now all of a sudden, everybody want to make videos about him in live shows, but I've been exposed these guys, just like I've been exposed Kevin Samuels. And then when all of the, controversy start with Kevin Samuels, you're going to have people starting to expose Kevin Samuels. And I'm going to be like, look at all you hypocrites. Now y'all want to talk about Kevin Samuels? Y'all wasn't talking when I was exposing him, right? Y'all wasn't doing that. Kevin Samuels teach men to go out there and pay for sex, right? That's not honorable, but yet people flock to this guy and show him respect like he's some sort of, guru out here. No. I've been on YouTube since 2006. I'm an OG on YouTube. Not like all these other guys who people call in OGs. None of these guys are OGs. How you an OG and you weren't around from 2006? If you weren't on YouTube from 2005, 2006, 2007, don't talk to me about being an OG because you're not. You're just a content creator who got some success on YouTube. You know what I mean? The pioneers who really started the black sector of YouTube is people like me and other brothers who've been here since YouTube's inception, since the beginning of YouTube. Brothers like me and others, we laid the foundation that other black men are able to even speak. But a lot of these content creators, they forget the history. That's why in my videos, I always put it out there. I always put the truth out there. Even when I use the clip from Black Ram 313, even though I don't agree with that brother and I don't support that brother because he believes in being a guy who pump and dump women and smash and dash. I don't support that. I support family. I support being a husband and having wives. You know what I mean? But even Black Ram 313 confessed in an audio clip on who are the pioneers on YouTube. And he lists me in that list because he know the history. Sadly, a lot of these content creators forgot the history because success got to their head. Just like Fresh and Fit, their success got to their head. They decide to exploit women, abuse women, and we're going to have other videos where I'm going to talk about those things. Right now, I want to focus on these copyright issues. So I don't really need to show the video anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this copyright issue. Now, on the screen, we have the fair use disclaimer that I always use. I want you brothers and sisters to understand that you don't need permission from anyone on YouTube to use audio video clips. First of all, you must understand copyright laws, especially concerning YouTube. When someone files a copyright claim against your video, if that person don't have a filed on the record copyright registered with the Library of Congress, they are falsifying information. They are falsifying information. That's perjury. This is how I was successfully able to cause YouTube ministry channels to be terminated. Because once YouTube did their investigation, they found that these particular ministries had no legal copyright, but they would file bogus copyright claims against videos where I would show like a Creflo Dollar, a TD Jakes, or whatever the case is, and I would expose these guys, and they would flag my video for copyright infringement. But these particular guys, they had no copyright. What am I saying to the Poor Man's Podcast? If you had videos that was flagged by Kevin Samuels for copyright infringement, you can file a counter notice under fair use. And if he flagged you, the video will be restored. Because what's going to happen is Kevin Samuels would have to now prove that he have this copyright. And we all know he don't. Because if he's filing copyright claims with all these people, let's say he do an Instagram live and somebody use clips from that on YouTube, and he figure, well, I don't got the video on YouTube, so I'm gonna flag your video for copyright infringement. That's not gonna hold with me, because I'm gonna make sure the video get restored, and I'm gonna wait for Kevin Samuels to go through the process just so that I can respond to YouTube with all the data that I have so they can terminate his channel. I am literally sitting back waiting for that. Literally. Because I've done this successfully to many people who abuse the system. Don't think for 1 minute that because you're using someone's content, that they have all this power to just flag your video and remove your video. They could do all of that. But at the end of the day, what you have to understand, brother, is this. Create a text file with the URLs of all the videos that you have with Kevin Samuels or whoever they are, right? That way you have the URL so that if he were to falsely flag your video for copyright, you have the URL of each video, right? And you can file a counter notice claim with YouTube. What YouTube is going to do, because they really don't care at the end of the day, they try to protect themselves from lawsuits and so forth. So what they do is they try to go along with the flow, but you got to know your rights under fair use. Once you submit the proper documents, the proper information that you successfully used the video according to the fair use doctrine, YouTube now is going to forward that information to the alleged copyright holder, which would in this case be Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels don't have a copyright registered with the Library of Congress. Every time Kevin Samuels do a live show, he don't download the video, package, seal it, and register it with the Library of Congress. He don't do that. So he don't have no copyright, right? But now here's the kicker. What he would have to do is he would have to go out to court. And he would have to go to the judge, and he would have to prove this and that, and he would have to prove that you, in fact, infringed on his copyright. But once the judge look at the data and he look at the video and everything, the judge is going to realize that this particular person is falsifying information, wasting taxpayers' dollars, and he's abusing the DMCA claim, the DMCA system, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. He's abusing it. So now that's perjury. He's lying under oath. And now once YouTube get back into this case, because Kevin Samuels would have to respond to YouTube within a certain period of time. If he don't respond to YouTube within that certain period of time, your video is going to be restored. Once your video is restored and YouTube realized that Kevin Samuels falsified information, he abused the system, his channel will be terminated. Trust and believe me. You understand? Because the Fair Use Act protects you. It allows you to use portions of video, copywritten motion pictures, video disc under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. Notice what it says on the screen, people. Let's read this. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce. That's what the Poor Man's Podcast does. He reproduce. He share commentary and criticism, and he react to different videos. That's what he do. So it says federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute through YouTube, right? Or exhibit, right? Portions of copywritten motion pictures. Now we know all of these YouTube videos are not copywritten. And even if they are copywritten, you can still use them. Do you understand me? Now, it says you can use videotapes or video disc under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. So when Kevin Samuels is saying, you gotta come and ask for permission, and you gotta come to me, and you gotta beg, and you gotta, plead your case and seek my permission. And no, you don't need no permission from Kevin Samuels. You do not need anything from him, because what he's doing is he's abusing you at this point. Anytime anyone try to make you feel like you need permission to use their content, that's abuse. You don't need to ask for permission. You don't need to do none of that. All you got to do is just make sure that your videos fall in line under fair use, and pretty much you're good to go at this particular point. There's no need to feel guilty that you done anything wrong or violated some copyright. You didn't do anything, because you don't need authorization from any copyright holder, which include Kevin Samuels or anyone on YouTube, right? It says this is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism. So if you criticize someone's video, right, by reacting, sharing your commentary, that's allowable under fair use. For news reporting, for teaching, you can have someone's clips in your videos and use it as a teaching while you respond. Note the key word respond, which means when you do videos under fair use by using someone's clips, you have to be responding to it. You have to, right? It says, and for parody. So you can have comedy videos with other people's clips. You can make mockery of them, all of that stuff for laughs. And it says, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. You understand? So you don't need authorization from Kevin Samuels. You don't need authorization from anyone to use anything. You don't need permission. As long as you are using these clips under the fair use doctrine and you're practicing what is needed in terms of a disclaimer, such as the one that I built or pretty much designed on the screen. I actually designed that logo that you see on the screen, that image. I designed that. So once you use that in the beginning of your video or whatever the case is, or even if you just shout out fair use or whatever the case is, I find that it's a good practice to read the disclaimer as it is, so that everyone involved know that your video is in line with fair use. I think that's the best thing you can do to avoid any sort of trouble, and also to let people like Kevin Samuels know that you know your rights. Because if you don't know your rights, he's going to take advantage of you. Trust and believe. He put out many threats. I am not concerned with Kevin Samuels. I am sitting back waiting so he can lose his channel, because I've seen people do this and they abuse the system. And when they meet the right person that know the system and know how to use counterclaims against them, it's not going to be pretty for them. And it's going to be an amusement for everybody when they find out, yo, who lost what channel? What? So-and-so? Yeah, man, he was abusing the system and YouTube took down his channel. Yeah. So don't be intimidated by Kevin Samuels or anyone. You have the right to use video clips under fair use, and you don't need anyone's authorization. Now, let me explain what you can and can't do, right? Let me explain what you can and can't do so that there is no misunderstanding when it comes to going out here making content. Now, there are many people right now that have made a lot of videos concerning Fresh and Fit that I will be using under fair use. Many people had interviews with people, live streams, and many people did a lot of work. And I'm going to be doing reaction videos to all these videos. And guess what? All of that will fall under fair use. Why is it fair use? And why is this all important? Let's look at this thing like art. When you create a show, a live stream, podcast, whatever, it's your personal art, right? The purpose of fair use is to use someone's clips to remix and create an entirely new project. In other words, if I use clips from Kevin Samuels, even if he can't stand me, even though he don't like the fact that I'm exposing him, when I use the clips, I'm creating an entirely new video, which is now original. It's like a remix of a song. So when you use videos, you have to add commentary and criticism. You cannot go on Kevin Samuels' page, download a full live show, and just put it on your channel to mirror it and then claim fair use. That's not fair use. That's not fair use. He can flag your video at this point. Now, even though I know Kevin Samuels don't own no copyright, he will still be successful in flagging your video because it's his video. Like, you didn't use it under fair use, so you're a target. You just can't take his video and mirror it, right? You can't do that because now you're benefiting off of the video and taking viewers that should be going to his channel. Do you follow me on that? It's like if I create a movie and I copyright my movie and I have a paid subscription for people to come watch my movie, but you paid, screen record it, and now you put it up on YouTube for free, I can file a copyright claim and have your channel shut down because you're taking money out of my pocket, right? So you cannot take Kevin Samuels' complete video and just put it on your channel, right, for others to view and comment, because now you're stealing views from Kevin and you're taking his money, which belonged to him, rightfully speaking. But now if Kevin Samuels make a live show and you want to respond to certain sections of his show, you can pull each clip and create your own commentary and criticism about what he said. That falls under fair use, and there is nothing he can do about it. Now, if you don't know your rights, he can threaten you with copyright claims and, take down that video or I'll flag you. Tell him to flag you. And when he flag you, you file a counter notice claim. And you dress it up with the fair use doctrine that you see on the screen. In other words, what you see in there, that is what you explain to YouTube. You explain that the video is using clips for fair use, which is for teaching, parody, and so forth, right? And you make it very known that the end user is abusing the system, make sure that you put abusing the DMCA system. You have to put the word abusing, and that they're violating terms of service by abusing the system because your video comply with fair use. And once you do all of that and you have your documents filled out, you send that to YouTube. And YouTube will go to the process and they will send Kevin Samuels or anyone the very same document to let them know this person know their stuff and they're using your video under fair use. So you should pull that DMCA claim that you got against them and let bygones be bygones and move on. Now, Kevin can choose to do that, or he can choose to do it the hard way, which is for him to go to court to prove that he actually have a copyright for whatever material it is. And he can't go out there and register a new copyright because it will be time-stamped differently. The courts will know that he just now did it. And it won't hold up in court anyway, because if your video is in line with fair use, Kevin Samuels will be thrown out of the court because the judge would not be happy to know that you just wasted his time and taxpayers' dollars to argue over something so petty, So your video will be pretty much restored after a few days. Just go through the process and your video will be restored. Once it's restored and Kevin Samuels realized that your video was restored after he abused the system, he should think twice about doing it again. Because I can guarantee you, if he do it again, right, and it's the same channel and YouTube find out that Kevin is continually flagging your video for copyright infringement, when you successfully made a counterclaim against him and your video was restored, at this point, YouTube is going to terminate Kevin Samuels' channel because they're tired of going through the same thing over and over. Because he's not doing it because he has a copyright. He's doing it because he's offended that you have him in your videos. So it's no copyright. There's no copyright there. No one on YouTube have copyrights for doing live shows. I sure am not going to be paying money to copyright a live show when I'm not selling it. You copyright what you sell. You understand? That's what you copyright, to protect it, or at least to have some level of protection on it. But even if your videos is copywritten, people can still use portions of copywritten material. You just got to know your rights, right? So don't mirror someone's video. I've even had people that did that to me. They would download a video of mine, put it on their channel because they want to claim they're sharing the truth, and this falls under fair use. If I want, all I got to do is go flag their video and their channel will be gone. But me personally, I really don't care. You know, sometimes I'll give people a warning like, you know, you're not using this under fair use. I can technically, you know, give you a strike. You know, I don't want to do that, but at the end of the day, you are misusing my material and so forth, right? You're not supposed to take my entire video and put it on your channel. If you want to use clips and respond to it, yeah, you could do that, but you can't mirror someone's work. Another thing, let's say, for example, Kevin Samuels have a live stream on Instagram and the video's on Instagram, and you take the video and you put it on YouTube and you do a commentary and criticism based on that video, and he filed a false copyright claim against you. That can technically cause his channel to be terminated. Why? The video is not even on YouTube. So for him to file a copyright claim claiming that he owned a copyright, he's falsifying documents, legal binding documents on YouTube. He's falsifying. That's not going to hold up well in the court system. So don't mirror images, and you can use any copywritten material or any material from any site at any time. As long as it falls under fair use, you pretty much can do what you need to do. And that's about it. You know, I hope that everyone pretty much learned what they need to learn, and they walk away from this having a better understanding that it's not about you, you know, taking someone's video and just putting in the description that this is used under fair use when you're mirroring the video. No, you got to respond with commentary and criticism so that it becomes a new production, you know? So that's all I'm going to say for today. You know, thanks for viewing the video. I just thought I share information regarding fair use and copyrights, because a lot of people are claiming copyright claims, but they own no copyright. That's the major problem. Falsifying information is not going to help these people. You know, it's just not going to work. So they can file whatever they want to file. I'll just file that counterclaim. I love filing counterclaims because I know how they work. I know how the system works concerning counterclaims. When you file your counterclaim, Kevin Samuels or anyone else have to go to court, and they have to prove their case. And once they try to prove it, it's going to be said that you never really did anything wrong. And once they find that, it's going to be hell and hot waters for him or anyone who filed a false claim. So with that said, I hope that you all enjoyed the video of understanding fair use copyrights and how you don't need no one's permission to use their video clips. You really don't need no one's permission. It's an insult when someone say you need permission, right? You don't need permission. It's a polite thing to ask for permission, but you don't need permission. I need for you to understand you don't need permission at all to do the content that you do in terms of reaction videos, commentary and criticism. Whatever you find on YouTube, you can react to it. That all falls under fair use. That's why I keep my fair use logo in all my videos when I'm using someone else's content. So with that said, thanks for viewing the show. I appreciate everybody for coming out. It is what it is. Hope everybody take the information and begin to implement it and learn to do better. So with that said, I'm going to sign out. I'll catch y'all in another show. I'm out. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Black Male Advice TV, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.